Welcome to Dem Boyz, a podcast that was definitely not soliciting that woman. We're one Saints fan and one Cowboys fan, one fan of who dat and one fan of dat win. We're here to give weekly takes, game recaps, bad betting picks, game previews, and the occasional Seinfeld reference. And today, we want to pour one out for former Thanksgiving Day performer, Miss Dolly Parton.
Yeah, I will share my Dolly Parton story momentarily. But first, we want to talk about our patron. We're doing a Seahawks / Bronco as we preview the NFC and AFC West this evening. And for that, I just went with quarterback Drew Lock, who I don't know if you saw preseason game over the weekend, but he was dealing a little bit there.
Jerry, it's a lock. Kramer, you've had this thing under control for almost 3 years now.
It's a lock.
Gotta get that. We gotta get it ready because a couple weeks we'll be doing that.
Doing some real picks.
So Drew Lock in America is born November 10th, 1996. So he's about to turn 30 here in a couple months. In Columbia, Missouri, was raised in nearby Lee's Summit. He's a standout athlete at Lee's Summit High School in both football and basketball before committing to the University of Missouri, where he developed into one of the SEC's top quarterbacks, throwing for more than 12,000 career yards and 99 touchdowns. Out of respect, he did not get to 100 because that's a multiple of 5. His 44 touchdown season, there you go, in 2017 set both SEC and school records, establishing him as one of the most productive passers in conference history. 2019 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos selected Drew Lock, second round, 42nd overall. Missed the first part of the rookie season with a thumb injury, returned to start the final 5 games, where he led Denver to a 4-1 record, showing promise as the franchise's future quarterback. Although he displayed a strong arm and playmaking ability, inconsistency and turnovers prevented him from securing the long-term starting job. He was then traded to Seattle in 2022 as a part of the blockbuster deal that sent Russell Wilson to cook in Denver. After serving primarily as the backup in Seattle, Lock was signed by the New York Giants 2024, made a couple starts, including a career-best 4 touchdown performance late in the season. I totally forgot about that.
Do we know who that was against? Because if not, I'm going to look it up.
You sure it wasn't against the Cowboys? It could have been.
No, we didn't have. Well, hey, we didn't have Matt Eberflus there yet. So,
Drew Lock returned to the Seahawks in 2025, so he does have a Super Bowl ring, I presume, because and he continues his career as an experienced veteran quarterback and reliable backup.
One-time Super Bowl champ on Pro Football.
There you go. So, a salute to Drew Lock, our patron Seahawks / Bronco for the week.
Is against the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Because I think they fired their defensive coordinator after 24.
Well, that's probably part of the reason. Well, you gave up 4 touchdown passes to Drew Lock. You're done. Yeah. Get out of here, buddy.
You're done. I'm Paul, the Saints fan.
I'm Brendan, the Cowboys fan.
We're your host, Izzy. Tell them what time it is.
Yeah, that's it. It's go time. Let's see you lift that.
Mr. Vanderbilt, please.
It's go time.
This one's for you, Pop. It's go time.
It's go time.
You've been married 3 times.
That's it. It's go time. It's go time.
All right, buddy. So it is go time. We're almost there. We got college football games this weekend.
But we also have a game. We also have a game coming up between our teams.
That is true.
The Dem Boyz derby, as they would call it.
There you go. Yeah.
Derby over in England.
Yeah. Hopefully there's not too many fights in this game, as there were last week in joint practice. But yeah, we might talk about that a little bit on Friday. Cowboys Saints in Dallas, right?
Yes, that is correct. Because the Cowboys' first 2 preseason games have been on the road.
Yeah, and the Saints had 1
2-0, by the way, undefeated.
Yeah,
No big deal.
we can talk about that a little later.
I
So
know
yeah,
I know you're dying to talk about the Saints game.
yeah, yeah. Well, I will read verbatim what I put in the notes when we get there. But before we get to that, let's do a little housekeeping. So we got a couple of announcements, couple things. But first, if you want to contact the show, you can do so via email, blessthemboys@gmail.com, BLESSDEMBOYZ. On X at bless_them_boys. I'm at Paul Elliott _316. Brandon is at Ball from Grace. Blue Sky, we hardly knew you. So I probably should take that out of the notes. So we're on Blue
Yeah, I
Sky
think
because we're not.
it's
I
all
mean,
right.
we're on it, but like we can't check it
The
because
the account exists.
the
That's
account
about it.
exists. But yeah, about it. If you're checking us out on YouTube Live, thank you. First of all, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe button while you're here. You can also check us out on YouTube after the show. We do post all the audio there as well. We also post on Spotify and Apple. Please leave
Spotify gave me some trouble this week, and
oh,
gave me some difficulties trying to post the show this week. So, but I did eventually get it up.
okay. Well, so help us out here, Spotify. We're just two schmucks talking about sports. Like, what's the problem?
I bet it's the Bosnians.
That's probably it.
Yep.
That's probably it.
These darn Bosnians.
We appreciate all the feedback. So like, share, subscribe, leave a rating and review. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell the bots. And so I did want to make a couple of announcements. We've sent out a couple tweets over the last couple of days. We have a couple of pick'em games that we have started. We did this last year. So we've got a couple of through ESPN. We're doing win totals for the season. So Brandon and I next week will go through all of our over-unders. We'll do our kind of overall season preview. We'll do our playoff teams. We'll do our individual award, yada yada yada. But as part of that, we will be doing our over-unders. So if you want to join us there, you're welcome to do that. Hope everybody can join us there. We are also doing two, and I may have screwed this up, Brandon. We're doing two pick'ems. One, I set it up as a straight pick'em, so you just pick who wins. Okay. The other one is confidence. I probably should have done spread, right? Not straight.
We need to do spread too.
Okay, so I'll make it.
We'll just do all of them.
Yeah, we'll just do all of them. So I'll make a third one, but on the show, for those that weren't with us last year, every week we pick the games spread and confidence.
And if you want to make money, you bet against the show's picks.
Fade them boys.
If you want to get rich, yep. Fade them boys.
Fade them boys. So I'll get the spread version of the pick'em up, and I'll share that link as well. And also, we are doing just for college football. We just do spread, just the spread picks. That's what I did for college football. Mm-hmm. So we'll have college football spread, NFL. We've got confidence straight, and then I'll get the spread up probably tomorrow, and then finally we'll do pigskin wins. I think it's called, or I forget. I forget what the
pigskin pick'em,
whatever they call it, through ESPN. So all those links are on our X account. So if you want to go, actually, you know what? While I'm here, let me pin this one. You can only pin one, so I'll pin this one. But they're all pretty close to the top of our page. So if you follow us on X, which we hope you do, you can check that out. So so as we said, throughout the season, so in 2 weeks we'll be previewing week 1, right? Because we'll record on Tuesday. The following night, remember, it's a Wednesday night kickoff this year. Seattle and the Patriots, followed by the Thursday game in Australia, 49ers and Rams. So we're there, but we're here, buddy. We made it.
We made it. One more fake game to get through.
That's right. When we speak next week, it will be September, because September 1st is a week from today. So we're excited, getting ready for football season. We'll finish up our divisional previews here with the Wests momentarily. But first, we here at Dem Boyz do pride ourselves on being able to discuss other things.
But enough about fish. I can discuss other things,
All right, Brandon, what you get up to this week?
So I think we're going to have some stuff to discuss because I watched a lot of soccer this weekend.
As did I. Yeah.
That was the bulk of my watching. I didn't actually get into much actual football, or much non-football TV action. But Saturday they had a work event where there was a watch party for the Everton opening game against Crystal Palace, aka what I like to call the Ted Lasso team, because that's the team that Richmond FC is based on. They use their stadium, they use their color scheme. So we went out to a place called Pitch 25, which I had actually been to before, because the soccer conference that I went to last year in January of this year, actually, one of the the happy hour events after Friday was there. So I had been there before, but it was a family event. So we went there, we took the kids, got there at 8 a.m. Game started at 9, but we watched the game. We were able to eat food. And then they had like a mini soccer field built into like a lower level of the bar so that the kids could just like run around and like play soccer like on the little field.
Oh yeah.
So once we finished like eating and watching the game and everything, we let the kids like kind of like run around out there, and they had a good time. And then my wife and I, of course, after eating and having a couple of beers at 9 a.m, came back and had a great nap. So that was a good experience. It was a lot of fun. You said that you actually saw the watch party on TV.
Yeah. So that game, that was Sunday, right?
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning. So did Liverpool play? Liverpool played on Sunday. That's what
Liverpool played on Sunday. That's right.
Okay. So I had the game on whichever channel it was on. Oh, it was NBC probably, or Peacock.
I think you said USA.
USA, yeah. Sorry, it was a Universal. No, that's what I was. So I'm watching the game on USA, and it was that game, and then there was a game after it, which I can't remember who played after it.
I want to say it was Tottenham, because that's the game that I remember like seeing as we were like pretty much all of my like Premier League friends either cheer for like fans who have like, or friends who have like watched the league regularly. They're either Arsenal fans or Tottenham fans. Like somehow it's just like random coincidence. Like 95% of them are in one of those camps. And so I was texting my friend, like, who is also named Paul, by the way.
Oh,
so I have to be careful sometimes when I'm like texting about whatever, because I'm like, which Paul am I texting here? And so I told him, I was like, I think Tottenham's got a chance to be pretty good this year. And then like the Everton game had finished, and I was kicking the ball around with the kids, and I looked up on the TV, and Tottenham's down 2-0.
Yeah.
I text my friend Paul. I was like, well, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut now.
Were they no, who did they play?
They were playing.
They didn't play Brighton, right? Brighton was playing Aston Villa.
No, because Brighton won 4-0.
Right.
Was it Brentford or Bournemouth? Maybe.
No, Bournemouth played Man City, I think. Hang on. Let's go to the Brentford. Yeah,
Brentford. Okay. Yeah. The Bees, as they. And so I looked up and they were down 2-0. And I was like, okay, I think I jinxed them already.
Yeah, they 3-0 was the final.
Yeah. So we did that on Saturday. But you were saying that you saw.
Yeah, sorry. So at halftime, they did this like I forget what they called it, but basically they went to like these different watch parties across the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one they went to is like Everton Watch Party, Houston, Texas. I'm like, well, surely there can't be more than one of these.
Well, and it was like it was a pretty big thing, like because I saw something for it, like not just at work. It was like a big
Okay,
thing. So I think I'm pretty sure if that was it, then I'm pretty sure that was the one.
I looked for you, buddy, but I didn't see you.
We were kind of off in a corner, so we probably wouldn't have been among the like main crowd.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then Sunday I watched a few games. I watched the Liverpool game, which I guess we can get to. I don't know if you want to get to now, but like Liverpool
Yeah,
got
sure.
bailed. Unlike the
Yeah,
Saints in the NFC Championship game,
yeah.
Liverpool
It's kind of nice.
got bailed
it's
out by
kinda-
the refs. So nice to be on the other side of that coin.
It's
Huh?
kind of nice to be on the other side of that coin. Yeah, no, so I was Newcastle scored. I want to say pretty early in the game, and I was thinking, of course, the team that I decide to root for in the Premier League is just gonna go and
Straight down the table.
And so it was I believe it was 1-0 at halftime. Liverpool comes back in the second half and scores relatively quickly, maybe like the first 10 minutes or so. But then Newcastle scores like less than 3 minutes later. Like it was like pretty quickly afterwards. And then they just they keep going. Liverpool had a couple chances, and then I think it was Gomez was attacking, and they get into the extra time, the stoppage time, and I think it was Gomez. I'm probably getting the name wrong, but guys attacking in the box gets tripped up, penalty kick, and their captain, whose name escapes me at the moment, knocks in the penalty kick, and basically that was it, because that was like they were already past.
Well, yeah, they had already gone past the extra time or the added time, basically.
Yeah, so it was basically like you make this kick, it's going to end in a draw. You don't, Newcastle will win. So you escape with the point. Dominic Sobasella, that's who kicked the penalty kick.
One of those Eastern, one of the Slavic countries.
Yeah. The first goal for Liverpool was scored by Cody Gakpo, who I think has been with them for.
Yeah, he's been with them for a while.
They have a new coach this year, so I did watch a little bit of post game stuff. I just found like videos and a lot of the issues were like, or a lot of the things I heard were like, well, they don't have anybody on the right wing. Their middle, is kind of soft. Yeah, so
the right wing is where they lost Mo Salah, which is going to be
a
problem. And it felt like Newcastle just kind of like sat back defensively, and Liverpool without Salah basically doesn't have as much offensive power to just like to break that down to kind of get through. And so it seems like that's probably going to have to be a problem that they're going to have to work through either the whole season, or if they can add somebody in January, like during the transfer window, that might be an option.
There's supposedly finalized a deal with PSG to get Barcola, Bradley Barcola, who's supposed to be really good.
Is that deal feels like it's been going on for a while.
Yeah, I keep seeing like it's all but done. It's all these different.
The transfer window is there'll be, and I feel like this was the case with Roma a lot this year. Is like it feels like you're gonna hear stuff. It's like this deal's almost done, and then it'll fall apart at the last second. So be wary on that.
Okay, so but I don't even know what position does Barcola play. Is he what they need? Is he a winger? Is he? I got it right here. He's a forward. Wikipedia describes him as. Oh, he's a left winger. Well, okay. What I'm reading describes him as a left winger, but I don't know if it's. He's comfortable on the right wing or as a forward.
Yeah, it does say he can operate on the right wing. You know, it's funny because there was a one of Mussolini's descendants actually plays soccer in Italy, and they said that
Okay.
he is a right winger.
I bet he is.
Which Lazio is also, by the way,
You're
they are kind of the fastest. Not that I'm a reliable narrator on this because they are Roma's biggest rival, but they are
are you
considered the right wing fandom of of
are you well?
Rome
Are they well
soccer.
read? Are they well
They
read? Is that what
they
you're
are
trying to
very.
say?
I don't think they're well read, but I think they are. What's the well read version of fascist?
So I believe it was Munoz. Victor Munoz was who
Mm,
got fouled there at the end. The other thing I did want to mention I learned is Isaac for
mm-hmm.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
He apparently was with Newcastle previously. So like
Yes.
every time
Yes.
he got the ball, they
He got
just
booed.
booed the crap out of him, yeah, because they were playing in Newcastle. So and he was kind of salty about it afterwards, like on Instagram. He said something about like
So it's like a whole
uh
Deshaun Watson situation,
kind of, but like
but without the sexual assault.
towards the opposite team, not his own. like
Mm.
like not his own fans, but towards the
Fair.
opposite.
Fair.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was, I guess it's good that they got a win
point.
or got a point. Sorry, not a win. Obviously, they got a draw. They play Nottingham Forest on Saturday. Early
I will be
start
supporting. I will be
for
supporting
that one.
Liverpool in that as a Nottingham Forest hater.
Early start there. But I did watch a couple other. I watched a little bit of Chelsea and Fulham. That was the Monday game.
I didn't get to watch that one, but I ended up watching Roma and Fiorentina. Or Fiorentina. See.
So is this La
Yesterday?
Liga or is
this is
Italian?
Serie A.
Serie A. Okay.
On Paramount Plus, which you have, by the way, so you
I
have
do.
access to these.
I also should mention. I think I texted you this. Fandango, which I use to stream movies, they are now offering the German Bundesliga for so you can watch like Bayern Munich and those clubs go at it. So
you can watch Harry Kane play there.
Which club does he play for?
Bayern München.
Bayern Munich.
Bayern
That's
Munich.
like the But that's
Bayern
that's like the best club, right?
Yeah.
Bayern Munich.
It's like the so it's like the I guess in La Liga it would be like Real Madrid or Barcelona.
Gotcha.
Barcelona.
Yes.
I also watched Roma Fiorentina. I talked about they won 4-0, so Roma just like crushed Fiorentina. Daniel Malen, who is a Netherlands player who we actually saw in the World Cup, who plays for Roma, scored 3 goals, and Paulo Dybala had 3 assists. So they basically were the source of the scoring there. And then I watched Venezia Lecce, which Venezia was basically in control of the game for most of like the first 70 minutes, had like 2 goals called back for like offsides or some other minor infraction, and ended up losing 0-2, unfortunately. So rough game.
What was
rough result.
Rough was There's something I was going to ask you, but I lost it. I'll think of it later.
And the other thing that I did was someone from the Philly Voice goes through and ranks the press box food offerings of all 32 teams.
NFL.
Yeah. NFL.
Yep.
And number 1 with the bullet for not the first time, but a repeat champion, the Dallas Cowboys, best press box food offering by a lot. So bring the Lombardi, bring the Lombardi home, baby.
I could say something, but I'll restrain myself.
I will say though, like if it's coming from a Philly writer,
Yeah,
like
that's
they're not
true.
gonna
Yeah,
like
that's true.
if they even had any reason to like downplay it, they would, but so that the food is actually good. So
Yeah, yeah. I
there you
mean,
go.
it's yeah. I uh, I think that's
What
safe to
about you,
say.
Paul? What'd you get up to?
So aside from the Premier League, again,
Are you enjoying your new hobby, your new sports
I
hobby?
I do. So I'm curious to see what'll happen once the NFL starts. Like if I or in college football, because I what I was what I found this weekend is like, oh, these are kind of perfect because like you have games like 9 o'clock our time, like 9 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock. Like okay, you're pretty much done by noon or
Mm-hmm.
1 o'clock our time.
Yeah, that's nice.
Um, Now like Liverpool this weekend plays at 6:30 our time, 6:30 in the morning. So
Mm-hmm.
which is not terrible. I mean that I've gotten
I'm
up
usually up
earlier.
by that. I'm usually up by then
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. Put a little pot of coffee on and watch a little football. I mentioned to you your Everton. What's Everton's mascot? Are they?
So they are the so it's hard to say because they call them the Blues, but also they're called the
Okay.
Toffees. Um, is
Ah,
another nickname for them. So
so the Blues. They play. They have a Caporro Cup game tomorrow against
hmm
Preston, who is a team from the
this
championship.
guy, yeah,
Yeah,
who
this
is
guy
this guy?
Preston.
This guy
No,
who
no,
is must be really good.
no. We'll see. Be funny. It'd be really funny if like there's 11 guys on the side for Everton and it's just one guy just running around
All over the place.
all over. So aside from that, let's get a couple movies here. I want to mention from 2026. I did watch The Invite. This is the Seth Rogen, Olivia Wilde, Edward Norton, and Penelope Cruz. Wait, is it Penelope Cruz or Salma Hayek? I can't remember now.
Penelope Cruz. She goes on a Caribbean cruise.
Um, but it got a lot of buzz when it came out in theaters. I was able to watch it on actually on Fandango. I rented. Yeah, it is Penelope
Huh.
Cruz. I rented it on Fandango. And it's basically so Seth Rogen and Olivia Wilde play this married couple. Rogen is a former musician who now teaches music. Olivia Wilde's kind of a stay-at-home mom, and they invite their neighbors from upstairs, played by Edward Norton and Penelope Cruz, and basically the entire movie kind of takes place in that apartment, and they begin chatting. Uh, have you heard anything about this movie, Brandon? Do you know anything about this
The
movie?
name sounds familiar. Is this like a key party situation we got going
Yeah,
on
well,
here?
okay. So that's kind of how it's been sold, but it's more than that. I would say. I would say give it a spin. If you have the time, it is
I mean, it
quite
does have
good.
Penelope Cruz and Olivia Wilde.
I
That's a
mean,
the good selling point.
yeah, it's but what I would what I would say is like it's kind of a cross between like those 80s comedies where they would have a lot of sex talk, but
Uh huh.
also but with kind of a more mature edge to it, I guess, if that makes sense. Like I found it pretty fascinating. Or I found it really good. So I would highly recommend it. Not the best movie I've seen, but worth the time, I would say.
You mean the invite by with Seth Rogen didn't
So
didn't outdo the
I
Odyssey
I
written by
gotta I got I gotta be honest. Seth Rogen was kind of the problem.
oh,
Like
you
it's
don't
not
say.
that and it's not that his performance was bad. I think his performance was meant to be what it was. If that makes sense. It's just the character
Oh,
was kind of. So anyway, but yeah. So there's that. I think I may have mentioned this movie to you before. and I may have requested that you watch it, but I'm going to request it again. That's Uncut Gems. This is from
Okay.
2019. This is the Safdie brothers. So
I know what the movie. Yeah, so like this is not
you
I don't
okay?
know it.
Okay. Okay.
I am familiar with that.
You
I
are.
actually said today, this is
Uh-huh.
how I win at
There you
work
go.
today. As I said,
There
this
you
is
go.
how I win. Which
So, but
I meant to.
have you seen the movie?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Okay. But you just know that gif, that meme.
Yes.
Okay.
Which I should also point out today. I meant to text you this, but I found out today that one of my like coworkers is a huge Seinfeld fan
Oh.
because I mentioned the Pinsky file to him, and he said, and he was like,
That's it.
I told him I said I said I think I'm Pinsky material, and he said you just moved this. Well, I did move the
Oh, yeah.
files into this accordion style folder. So like he knew exactly, like as soon as I said I'm Pinsky material, he knew
That's a deep
exactly what I was referring to.
That's a deep cut, man. Like if
That's
if
the
you
barber. That's the barber, isn't
yeah,
it?
that is the barber. Yeah, that's the barber. That's
So what?
George
One of
playing
my
the drums on his.
what? One of my favorite things is like on the DVDs they have this notes about nothing bonus feature.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
And so it will just give you like random notes. Either it'll like it has a Kramer entrance counter. It has a like George and Jerry and Elaine and Kramer boyfriend girlfriend counter.
Okay.
And then it'll also just have like random facts about what they're talking about or
Mhm.
about the episode. And for this episode, there was a joke that got cut from this where they talked about
Okay.
Originally there was a third Barber brother, like,
Oh, I've heard this. Yeah, I've
and
heard this.
and
Yeah.
they said that he drank the blue liquid that keeps the
Yep.
combs clean. He committed barbicide.
Barbicide. Yep.
Which I've used that joke before. I was like,
So
I have to find a new barber. My other barber drank the blue liquid and committed barbicide.
so I you I think listen to this podcast too, Signcast.
I listen every now and then. I don't listen
Well, I
all
mean,
the
it's
time though.
they don't drop new episodes anymore. They've but I mean, I listened to every episode. It was great. So if you are a fan of Seinfeld and you have not checked out that podcast, I would highly recommend it. But on that, when they did the barber, I remember them talking about the third brother that storyline got cut. That episode also has one of my favorite lines from Kramer. I may have talked about this on the show before. So his storyline or Jerry's storyline and Kramer's kind of intersect with Elaine's. Elaine is running this this charity auction, a bachelor auction, and she wants Jerry to be in it because Jerry is somewhat famous, and he gets a bad haircut from who's it, Nunzio? No, who's the older barber?
Who's the bad one?
Yeah, the uncle. He gets a bad haircut from the uncle. So, and Jerry's like, "Well, I'm not gonna do the auction. My hair looks terrible. Whatever." He's like, "Just bring Kramer." And Elaine's kind of like, and
Enzo's the bad. Enzo is the bad.
Enzo's the bad one. And Kramer says, "Come on, I could raise enough money to cure polio." And Jerry says, "I believe they've had a cure for polio for quite some time." And Kramer just goes, "Polio?" Like he says it with, like,
Polio?
you sure we're talking about the same thing?
About the same thing?
That's always one of my favorite. Yeah, right.
Statute. It's like one of those things.
It's not
Polio?
statue, you idiot. But yeah, so yeah, that's kind of an underrated episode, The Barber.
I like that they also used the Barber of Seville music.
Yeah.
Which I was first acquainted with in the Looney Tunes episode.
Of course. By the way, I should mention, speaking of Looney Tunes, this weekend, Coyote versus Acme comes out.
That movie looks funny. Like, it looks good.
Long awaited. So apparently it was supposed to come out like during COVID, I think, and then they just kind of they wrote it off. They just wrote it off. Yeah.
You don't even know what a write-off is. Well, they do, and they're the ones writing it off.
All right. I want to get to the Denzel challenge. So I'm a little stuck here, buddy. I might need your help.
Uh-oh.
So we're on week 35. I will remind folks, week 34 last week, the category was mystery person. I watched Deja Vu, the Tony Scott movie. Love that movie. Unapologetically love the movie. It's based in New Orleans. Denzel plays a detective or an ATF agent who's trying to figure out who blew up a ferry on Mardi Gras
Mm.
in New Orleans. It was like the first movie to be filmed in New Orleans after Katrina. It's kind of bat crap crazy, but I don't care. I love it. Anyway, so that was good. So this week's challenge, week 35. Okay, so we're getting there. The category is more than two legs. So let me pull up the description so I speak to it properly. Let's see. Okay, come on. Okay, here we go. So this week's challenge has legs, lots of them. Your challenge this week is to watch a movie featuring something with more than two legs, either in the title or centric to the plot. Another straightforward challenge, but to clarify, Reservoir Dogs would be perfectly fine as dog is in the title, and they have more than two legs, despite there being no dogs in the movie. However, if you see a sheep or a cow in the distant frame, or someone squashes an insect in some random scene, and either have no bearing on the plot, then you'll have to look somewhere else. So yeah, so that's kind of the challenge that. So I start thinking. I start Googling like, is there any Denzel movie that because Denzel doesn't do like sci-fi movies, so that kind of throws that out the window. Um, when I did a Google search, one of the films that came up is one I've already seen, which is Fallen, which I think I've talked about quite a bit on the show. But in Fallen, the whole conceit of that episode of that movie is there's a demon that gets passed from people to people by touch, and in one scene, the demon has no person to pass to, so it gets passed to a cat, which cat has four legs. So, but again, I've already watched that movie. Another movie I've already watched, which I think would qualify, is The Magnificent Seven, because in The Magnificent Seven, it's a western, so you obviously are riding horses. So, there's that. Someone, I'm part of this Discord channel, and I broached the question there, and someone said, "Well, what about Much Ado About Nothing? They ride horses in that movie, and there's a character named like Dogabao or something with dog in it." So I was like, "Oh, okay," but that got me to thinking. So I came up with two options. Here's the two options I came up with. So the first one is Glory, which is the Civil War. What, you got some?
I think I got one for you.
Okay, well, let me go through my two. Let me go through
Okay.
my two, and then we'll see if they line up with you. So Glory, which is the Civil War movie that Denzel won an Oscar for. Matthew Broderick plays the commander of this battalion. They're the first all-black battalion, and throughout that movie, he rides a horse. And then there's a scene kind of towards the end of the film where he dismounts the horse as a symbol of I'm going to go into battle with you guys, as opposed to, you know, kind of riding my horse and staying out of that or staying out of trouble. So that was one. The other one, let me see, I don't know if this is the one that you're thinking of. The other one I came up with was Training Day. So okay, so you hold on to yours.
I got another one for you.
So this is a very thin thread. So Training Day has an appearance by none other than Snoop Dogg.
Oh, Snoop Dogg.
So, and I broached that to the group, and they were like, you know what, go for it. Like just so. But I'm interested to hear. Let me hear your suggestion.
My suggestion is Wilma.
Wilma.
Is she? Is
What
he? He's in that movie.
No. What is Wilma?
This says Wilma. I'm on the IMDb list of Denzel Washington movies.
Hang on. Oh, it might be. Is it a TV? It's a TV movie. That's what it is. Okay, but go
That
ahead. Give
counts,
me
though. That counts, though, right?
It does count. So it does count. But when I came up with the 52 movies for my list, I excluded TV movies. But you're right. Technically does count. So what's the?
So this is a story about Wilma Rudolph.
Okay.
So speaking of Kramer here, she contracts polio.
Okay.
At age 5, which affects her legs.
Right.
So she has to use crutches, but she runs the relay race. What are the parts of a relay race called? They are called legs. It has 4 legs of a relay race. There you go.
Okay.
So,
you know what? I like it. If I could find somewhere to watch Wilma, I wonder if it's on YouTube. Probably on YouTube. All right. Well, I will report back next week to what I ended up choosing. Yeah, it looks like it's on. Oh, this is actually his first film, according to this. I believe he was. IMDb says he was like. Well, he played a 17-year-old. I don't know if he was 17.
I mean, this was in 1977, so he must have been pretty young.
He would have been 23 because he's born in 54. So, okay, Brandon, just give me 1 second. I'm going to take.
What doesn't? Oh, but you've already done the Book of Eli, haven't you?
Yeah, because there's a cat scene in Book of Eli. Yeah, I know what you're. Yeah, because that was another one that came up when I did this. There's no in Tragedy of Macbeth. There's no horses.
They do ride horses in there. So yes, technically that would have counted. The thing I remember for that movie though is birds, because they use ravens quite a bit.
And ravens don't have more than 2 legs. They just have 2.
They have 2 legs and 2 wings. So
yeah, okay. All right. Well, I'll be right back. Just give me a second. Mm-hmm. Okay. Sorry about that.
Are you ready?
All right.
Because now it's
ready.
time for our super special
that's right.
segment before we go into the previews.
This is all you, buddy. I got no idea what's coming.
Let's see. Entire.
Oh, a top 10. Oh, God.
This is the top 10 things Jed York told the police after being arrested for soliciting prostitution in Ohio. Are you ready, Paul?
Sure.
Paul Schaefer. We got a bald Paul just like
David
Letterman.
There you go.
Yeah. There we go. Number 10, a classic. Do you know who I am? Oldie but a goodie. Number 9, as Mr. Seinfeld might have said, she's my cleaning lady and I owe her money.
No.
Ooh. Number 8. Doesn't anyone believe in true love anymore? Mr.
Oh my god.
Mr. York, Mr. York being the romantic here.
Oh, yeah.
Number 7, as George would have said, I was just trying to get information about the parking service I've been using. This is all a big misunderstanding.
Shout out to this podcast making me thirsty. Our buddies over there, they tweeted that image in response to this. So.
Number 6, you see how this looks, right? I guess this could have been worse. You could have been Chris Hansen.
Here's what I appreciate about this, because in true Letterman fashion, right about the middle of the list was always like the funniest one, or one of like it would like
that or
like
number
the
2 was always that.
Well, yeah, it was like the bottom would start. I was like, okay, kind of funny, and then it would almost do like a bell curve. Like you'd get to the middle, and then it kind of tapered off as you got towards the end. So, good job, buddy.
Number 5, he was just scouting. He was actually here to scout some players for recruitment.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Looking for a wide receiver, I think, after the situation that's been going down over there.
He's looking for an eligible receiver, it sounds like.
Number 4, I would have gone to the Robert Kraft massage parlor, but apparently it's been shut down.
Did you see the one of
the Tom Brady at the Tom Brady at the
Robert Kraft seeing Jed York?
Yep.
Like
number 3, that was somebody else's Bugatti in the trailer park.
That's a deep cut. Oh. That's a deep.
No, number 2. She became highly recommended to me from Brandon Ayuk.
Ew.
Ew. And number 1. She told me she knew how to turn off the substation.
Whatever the song.
There we go.
Well, buddy, you know what? About a year ago at this time, you were doing top 10 reasons the Michael Parsons trade was.
I know. I copied the template over for this one.
So, bravo, sir. Bravo.
What was the best one? Was he joins the massage parlor. He becomes the 3rd member of the massage parlor.
By the way, feels like the Cowboys kind of won that trade at this point.
It's starting to seem like that. Well, I've been seeing, because I believe it was Ian Rappaport tweeted it was the 1-year anniversary, and Cowboys fans have been going, best thing that ever happened to this franchise. So
I mean, yeah, especially considering Parsons is going to miss. He's probably going to start the season on IR for the Packers.
And you signed Quinnen Williams to an extension that is $17 million less per year than his contract. So,
and you ended up with Kenny Clark, Rashawn Gary. I mean, you used
Quinnen Williams.
One of those draft picks is the kid from was it Malachi Lawrence? No,
Malachi Lawrence.
Well, okay, so that's from that trade. Who'd you use the other draft pick on? Was it
well, the other one was just our regular Caleb Downs.
No, but last year didn't he have an extra first rounder last year?
It's because we traded him after the draft, so it would have been.
Right, of course,
But part of that is it goes into the Quinnen Williams deal.
Gotcha. And well, I'll let you, because I'm sure we're gonna talk about the Cowboys preseason game against the who'd you guys play?
The Cardinals.
Cardinals, yeah.
So we should caveat all of this with as we should probably caveat the Saints' performance with competition level does matter. Yeah. But the Cowboys won again. I'll start with Joe Milton because he was just slinging it on Saturday night. but he hit Jonathan. He had a check down touchdown to Malik Davis, and then hit uh, Jonathan Mingo for a bomb touchdown pass on just like a perfect
Yeah.
pass where he just like laid it into him deep. I think with the way he's played this preseason, just the consistency that he's shown, like I don't see any reason right now not to give Joe Milton the the QB2 position.
Yeah.
Like just because he's played at least as well as Sam Howell, maybe better, and the idea that the reason you keep Sam Howell is because the floor is higher. But if Joe
Yeah.
Milton has the same floor as Sam Howell at this point, like there's no reason because the ceiling is infinitely higher. Now I don't want to get ahead of myself and start calling this the you know our I don't want to call Dak Milton the next Favre Rodgers per se.
Ah, okay.
I don't want to get it too far ahead of myself yet. But I do think Jonathan Mingo and Camden Brown have both made cases to make the 53-man roster when it comes out. So I think they'll end up keeping 6 receivers because you've got CD, you've got Pickens, you've got Flournoy, who are obviously your top 3. You've got Turpin, who's your return guy plus number 4 receiver / gadget guy. And then I think you end up keeping, because Jonathan Mingo also plays on special teams. So you can keep Jonathan Mingo and you can keep Camden Brown and have 6 wide receivers. Camden Brown is probably inactive on most game days anyway. But it seems like those two guys have.
He's a guy you probably want to save from the practice squad. Like you don't want.
Yeah, because I think if you try to sneak him onto the practice squad by cutting him, I think the plays that he's made in preseason, I think somebody like the Texans have traded for Kayshon Boutte. Like they're desperate for wide receiver help right now.
Yeah.
So it seems like there would be somebody that would probably put a claim in on him. So I don't think you can risk cutting him at this point.
I wouldn't if I were the Cowboys. But that's just me.
I agree. Jaden Blue actually bounced back from last week to have like a really good performance. Physical running, average 5 yards a carry, I think it was 75 yards on 15 carries. Looked really good. I think the main thing was just that he was running downhill and actually like getting through tackles this time, which has been a problem for him. And then on the defensive side of the ball, there were moments where they were a little bit of a bend don't break sort of defense where they gave up a couple of plays where they were there in coverage, but the wide receiver just made a play. A lot of times, they've still been pretty like fundamentally sound. But then I think the standout from this game was Jayshon Barham. I don't know if you've seen clips of him just like blowing up.
This is because we were talking about draft picks earlier. I know Rich Eisen's been really high on him because obviously Rich is a Michigan guy. So,
right.
But and he started camp. I think he was banged up a little bit, and then kind of eased his way into the rotation. But yeah, I saw some clips, man. He looks like he looks like he could be a weapon for you guys this season.
Zach Bond and Fred Warner were the comps that I have seen thrown around.
Oh, okay.
So
no pressure there.
pretty lofty praise. But the thing was, he just does a good job of like when he's getting downhill, he knows he's physical and just mean and just able to get into the gaps. He blew up multiple plays for loss. I think the only like bad play he has was like he blew up a screen that should have been like a 2-yard loss and he missed the tackle. And so it ended up, but because he held up the runner for long enough, it ended up being like no gain instead of a 2-yard loss. Like that was the biggest negative play or the worst play that he had. But he was good in coverage and then just physically coming downhill, just like getting through the guard, putting his shoulder into people. I don't understand, like based on what he did in that game, like I don't understand how he lasted until the 3rd round. Like that seemed like just like
it
seems like I think
he had a little injury history. I think was part of it.
I also
Yeah.
wonder if like some teams didn't know, like he seems like he fits into this system specifically, but maybe like other teams, like it wouldn't have been necessarily a good scheme fit, or like teams didn't know, like should he be an edge, should he be an up ball linebacker, should he do X
Yeah.
or Y, and like there may have been some like,
I
what do we
was
do with this
yeah.
guy? That was the question.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna
so
say
how
it's
about
like a positional thing, like
yeah.
to your point. Because if it's an off ball linebackers we talked about, not a highly just high value pick or high value
Right.
position. So
So how
uh
about the Saints, Paul?
I don't think they had a game this weekend, did they?
I think they
Uh,
canceled it. I think
they should have.
they were too busy getting ready for the preseason game
So,
against the Cowboys.
so you know, yeah. So the game started out. I just pulled up the stats because I tried to block it out of my memory. But they started Zach Wilson, who earned it honestly after his performance against Jacksonville the week prior. Because there's still kind of I think there's still some. Is it Rattler or is it Wilson for QB2? And this started out fairly okay. They they give up. The Rams had a long drive in the first quarter. Stetson Bennett was dealing pretty much. Like, I mean, like there was talk after the game. They're like, Rams should try to trade Stetson Bennett because, like, if you think Ty Simpson's your future, but you picked him 13th overall, like, why wouldn't you try to? Like, it
As
would make
as
more
as
sense,
as Sean McVay was thrilled about, by the way.
right? But it would make more sense. Like you were talking about the Cowboys keeping Joe Milton, or maybe somebody was talking about because this has come up with Rattler with the Saints. It's like, why would you trade a backup quarterback in a league where quarterbacks can get injured? But Bennett could be kind of the odd man out in that room. So, like, I mean, you don't think the Falcons would kind of want Stetson Bennett right now as opposed to what they got on their roster? But anyway, so Wilson obviously didn't play as well as he did last week. The Rams get a field goal, come back. Wilson throws a pretty bad interception, like just a lame duck pass. I guess intercepted. Rams turn that into a touchdown. Saints turn it over on downs. Next possession, Rams score another touchdown. The Rams get another field goal towards the end of the half. So it's 20-0 at halftime. And it's like, oh gosh, all right, here we go. So what I thought was, okay, Rattler and Wilson are going to flip from last week. Wilson had a bad first half. Rattler's going to come in the second half and have a good second half. And first drive, he's looking pretty good. He's moving the ball better than Wilson did. And then he just decides to throw into quadruple coverage for no reason. Rattler does pick and gets a 100-yard pick six. And it's like,
Was that the one that I sent you that tweet on? Is like you just had a pick six,
Yeah.
like commented
Yeah.
on by congratulations, blankety word that I
Yeah, right.
word that we can't say on this show.
Yeah, Brenda Song, Macaulay Culkin's wife, was in the booth for the Rams. I had the volume off, but I did see that she got to call that interception. Yeah, I mean, and then it just I kind of gave up on it from there. And then to add insult to injury, or injury to insult, I should say. Ty Chandler, who returned the opening kickoff of the Jaguars game like 80 yards, played in this game. He got put on IR today. His season's over. Moliki Matavaya, who was like our best receiver in this Rams game because he was the only one who really did anything, he left the game early. He got put on IR today. He's done for the season. Chris Olave left practice early today, and it was like, okay, come on. This is what is there must be a substation in New Orleans. Like, that's the only thing I can.
Other than that, Miss Lincoln, how was the play?
Right, exactly. I mean, it's just like we're back to Tyler Shuck's receivers potentially. Like he's going to end up having like Bryce Lance and Barry and Brown as his 1 and 2 receivers against Detroit if we keep going down the path we're going. Now Olave, they said he just got the wind knocked out of him, but this is the same team that said Jordan Tyson's hamstring injury wasn't a big deal, and now he's out 2 months. So you tell me. I don't know. It's and like I'm starting to think Kellen Moore is kind of like a lame duck coach, honestly, because like the penalties are like I get. Listen. Let me be clear. The Rams are a far better team. Like even with the second string, they're a far better team, much more talent. But when you have less talent, what you can't do is beat yourself and like with penalties and like all this stuff. There was one penalty early in the game against Jeremiah Wright, the offensive lineman out of Auburn, the rookie offensive lineman. It was kind of a ticky-tack penalty. He kind of was playing to the whistle and got called for a late whatever. That I don't mind, but like when your talent is what the Saints is, which is you're kind of hanging on by a thread at this point. You can't be, they were dead. They were like bottom 5 in the NFL in penalties last year. Pre-snap penalties, they were bottom 5. Can't have that when your talent pool is what it is. So they need to get that fixed. Kellen Moore after the game was like, whether it's preseason or regular season, you don't want to put that on tape. Like you don't want to have that kind of a performance on tape. So we'll see. I mean, I'm very interested to see how they play against the Cowboys. I'm guessing they're not going to play any starters. They'll just throw out Rattler or Zach Wilson and and get ready for the regular season. I honestly don't know what the season's going to look like at this point. I was, as you could probably tell over the last couple of weeks, I was kind of cautiously optimistic about this season coming up. But now I'm just like, this
rethinking
this is
all
gonna,
your life choices.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, I mean, all Saturday during the game, people are like, please, Tyler Shuck, do not get hurt because we have to rely on Rattler or Zach Wilson. It might be tough. Now again, these guys
Rattler looked okay at like points last season.
So what I was gonna say is Rattler's playing with like third string guys against the Rams, right? I mean, he's playing against third string opponents too, but like, I'm just, and then they traded. So Deion Jones, who played in this game against the Rams, who they just signed, they had to trade him to the 49ers for Zamir White because Devin Neal's hurt again. Like, our running back room right now is basically Travis Etienne and Zamir White and Kendre Miller, who's also injury prone. So, like, I mean, on paper,
how long is
Kamara
out?
I think they're hopeful he'll be ready for week 1, but he probably won't be. I mean, I would say he's probably out.
I think he's older than us in football years at this point.
He is. I mean, he is, but it's it'll be tough. I mean, opening the season against Detroit doesn't help because you got Goff and St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs, and the defense is they're I don't know. I honestly don't know what to think, man. This is the definition of let's just start the season because I just want to know, like, because we really haven't seen the first stringers a lot for the Saints. I mean, Shuck hasn't played this preseason.
The Cowboys the Cowboys have not seen pretty much any of their first stringers.
Yeah, but you guys are actually playing well though. Like that's
fair.
But we'll see.
Also, to be fair, we have played the Raiders and the Cardinals. So like We haven't exactly gone against world beaters over here, so
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, from what I've heard from the joint practices, which a lot of people are now pointing to as like the joint practices are where the real evaluations are made, obviously because starters are playing. I've heard the Saints have looked pretty good when they're not fighting the Cowboys, but apparently against the Rams, their first team looked okay. So I don't know. Until we get to September, whatever day the season starts for the Saints, I'm not gonna really know. But my hopes are not sky high at the moment. So trying to think. Oh, the Saints did also sign. Saints also signed a kicker, Daniel Carlson, who's like a two-time Pro Bowl kicker that the Raiders just like let go for some reason, and the Saints are like, yeah, we've got Charlie Smith and Tanner Brown. Like, yeah, we'll take Daniel Carl.
You have Charlie Brown. You have Charlie Brown.
We have Charlie Brown. Yeah, there you go.
No wonder the kicking is a problem. Lucy keeps pulling the ball away from him.
Keeps pulling. Yeah, that's probably it. That's probably part of it. Yeah, I don't want to talk about the Saints anymore.
All right,
let's move on to our. We'll see how the West could be won, I guess. Start with the AFC West. We'll go bottom to top, starting with the team that picked number 1 overall this past year in the NFL draft, the Las Vegas Raiders. 3-14 in 2025. Over under the number I have, buddy, is 5.5. Is that what you got?
Oh, let me pull that up.
Okay. While you're pulling that up, I'll just let the fine folks know that obviously a coaching overhaul for the Raiders this offseason. Clint Kubiak comes over from the Seahawks, also with the Saints previously. Defensive coordinator Rob Leonard, offensive coordinator Andrew Janoku, and a new special teams coordinator Joe DeCamillis.
Joe DeCamillis.
DeCamillis, excuse me.
Former Cowboy legend, by the way.
Cowboy lit. All right, there we go. So obviously a whole new coaching staff. They did sign Kirk Cousins, who it looks like will start the season as the QB1. They also obviously drafted number 1 overall Fernando Mendoza. So it'd be interesting to see how that plays out throughout the season. Obviously the big. Go ahead, Brandon. What'd you have?
So 5.5 is the total. Juice -150 on the over.
Oh, really? Okay.
You get +125 on under 5.5 if you're interested.
Yeah, I don't remember what
That's
I have.
Some sweet action.
Some sweet action. So the big, I guess, outside of picking Mendoza, outside of signing Kirk Cousins, the other big story for the Raiders this offseason was the Maxx Crosby almost trade we talked about. He almost gets traded to
the future Cowboy.
Of course, because still could be traded. Who knows? But outside of that, they did sign on defense Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker, Kwity Paye. They also got Tyler Linderbaum at center, who's like one of the best centers in the NFL. So they made some good signings. They traded Geno Smith to the Jets. We talked about that a while back. We mentioned Zamir White. He was with the Raiders. He went to San Francisco. Now he's with the Saints for all those reasons we talked about. Their draft outside of Fernando Mendoza, they did pick up Traden Stukes from Arizona, who was kind of a highly regarded defensive back / safety. And they also got Jamad McCoy, who we talked about could have been a first-round pick potentially, if not for a knee injury.
From what I hear, it was a pretty bad knee injury.
Yeah. So, and we also mentioned Daniel Carlson. So their kicker right now, according to this, is Matt Gay for the Raiders. So,
not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. The AFC West. Let's take a look at the schedule here. So the AFC West will play the AFC East and the NFC West. So the Wests will play each other. the Raiders, by virtue of having a last place schedule, their 3 extra games will be Browns, Jets, and Saints. So there you go. Looking at their schedule, they start off home Miami, at the Chargers, at the Saints, home Kansas City, and then it's kind of a murderer's row at Patriots, home Buffalo, home Rams. That's that's tough. Weeks 9 through 11 at San Francisco, home Seattle, at Denver. That's rough.
I would like to add that today I did place a small wager on the Dolphins to have the NFL's worst record.
Okay.
This was because I saw a tweet that the Dolphins offense looked like completely unworkable. Malik Willis like called a break to talk about it, and it didn't help. And so I was like, okay, I've seen enough.
Yeah, my thought on the Raiders is kind of similar to what my thought was on the Browns, which is they're not going to be an easy out. Like I don't think playing the Raiders this year is like a for sure win, especially if Cousins is at quarterback and he's playing like what we've seen Kirk Cousins play like in the past. And Kubiak, look, we talked with Trang, our good friend Trang. Like Kubiak did well with Darnold last year. He had the Saints 2-0 as offensive coordinator before the bottom fell out that season.
After 2 games.
After those 2 games, I mean, I'm again, the thing with these last place teams is they're playing all the other last place teams, and somebody's got to win those games, right? I mean, you could obviously tie, but like you're telling me that they can't beat the Jets and the Browns, and the Saints potentially. Hopefully, they don't beat the Saints week 3. That'd be bad.
How would you feel about the Saints if they lost to the Raiders?
What's the Raiders' record? Are they 0-2? Because if they're 0-2,
no, I think they probably win one of their first couple of games.
Well, they'll beat the Dolphins. They'll beat the Dolphins.
Yeah. Let's say they beat the Dolphins. They're 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, at this point with the Saints, I'm back to anything's possible week to week. But if the Saints are 0-2, so they've lost to Detroit, they've lost at Baltimore, home opener against the Raiders, and it's Kirk Cousins of all people. That's not going to feel great. But, I mean, I just mentioned they've got talent on this roster. The Raiders have talent. They have Ashton Genty, who has a knee injury now, apparently, or an ankle injury that popped up, I think, today. So
they said it's not supposed to be like too serious. So fingers crossed, especially for that one guy who drafted Ashton Genty number 1 overall in fantasy football.
That's a choice. I mean, they have Brock Bowers. Who's their number 1 receiver outside of Brock Bowers? I mean, who am I not thinking of? I feel like it's an obvious.
Amari Cooper.
Is it really? That's the name I was going to throw out there. Hang on.
Okay, now I got to pull up the
Jacoby Myers. Is it Jacoby?
Didn't
Myers?
he get traded? I thought he got traded to the. Didn't he get traded to the Jaguars last year?
Oh no, it's So their receivers are Jack Betch, from TCU.
Betch, please.
Trey Tucker, Jalen Naylor.
Naylor.
I hardly know her.
Hardly know her.
Yeah. Their receiver room is not.
This is only like slightly better than the Dolphins receiver room. They have Bowers. That's like the only. They brought Bowers and Michael Meyer. That's like the only redeeming factor.
One rookie that's kind of caught a lot of people's eye for the Raiders is Mike Washington, the rookie that they drafted out of Arkansas, I believe. He seems pretty good in their offseason. So I mean, he might get to play if Genty's hurt for a little bit, or at least they might take some of the load off of Genty with him. But we'll see. Defensively, obviously they have Crosby at this point. Assuming Crosby is not with them, they still have Nakobe Dean. They signed Nakobe Dean. They brought in Quay Walker. Their defensive line is Kwity Paye, Adam Butler, Tonka Hemingway. Uh, yeah. So I don't really know how to feel about the Raiders. I feel like like I said, I don't think they're going to be an easy win for anybody. I do feel like they can at least split with one of the teams in the AFC West this year. But outside of that, I don't know. Their schedule doesn't do them a lot of favors, like I mentioned. So they have like
they play in the AFC West, which doesn't help because you got three
yeah.
really pretty tough teams, or at least teams that are significantly better than you at this point. So
True. Speaking of which, one of those teams, the Kansas City Chiefs, an un-Chiefs like 6-11 last year. Obviously, a lot of injuries. Mahomes was injured down the stretch. Kelsey not 100%. Over under the number I have, buddy, is 10.5 for the Chiefs.
correct. Where do
Juice
you
on
think the juice is?
over? Oh, on the under. Okay,
minus 140 to the under.
That's surprising.
Especially because people like to bet on the Chiefs, so you would think people would be taking.
Well, I think people are ready to put the stake in the heart of the Chiefs dynasty. So people are kind of like, okay, they had that like this like what happened last year is not a fluke. Like Mahomes might be cooked a little bit. Kelsey's now he's married. He's got all this other stuff going on. Andy Reid's getting older. They did bring back Eric Bieniemy as offensive coordinator. They just let Matt Nagy go to the Giants, which that might tell you something. But Spagnola's still there running the defense. They did bring in Justin Fields as a backup quarterback in a trade with the Jets. They also signed Kenneth Walker, who I believe he had an injury today as well. I thought I saw somewhere maybe an ankle or something pop up for him. So that might be something to keep an eye on. They also they re-signed Kelsey. They also signed the running back. Remember Amare DeMarcado?
Yeah.
The
From
Cardinals
Arizona. Yeah.
The Cardinals running back that saved my fantasy team one week last year because he had like this game out of nowhere.
Oh yes.
Then they brought back L'Jarius Sneed, who they had previously traded
to the Titans, right?
To the Titans, and then the Titans got rid of him, and now he's back. Kyer Elam, was he a Cowboy at one time?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
Former Bill, started with the Bills and then was with the Cowboys last year,
right?
And not very good, and then
right. In terms of what they lost, Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco, Damian Pierce, Isaiah Pacheco with the Lions now. Talked about that a couple weeks ago. They lost Marquise Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Leo Chanel.
Laviska Chanel?
Yeah. They also lost Trent McDuffie. They traded Trent McDuffie to the Rams because apparently everybody's goal this year is just to make the Rams the super team by just giving them all the good players. In the draft, they traded up number 6 overall to get Mansour Delane from LSU. They also drafted Peter Woods out of Clemson, R. Mason Thomas out of Oklahoma. They got Cyrus Allen. Cyrus Allen, their 5th-round pick out of Cincinnati, is getting a lot of buzz in camp. Hearing a lot of talk about Cyrus Allen. So
someone has to catch the passes. Rasheed Rice has an ankle monitor on at all times.
Not an injury.
So
a monitor, not an ankle injury, an ankle monitor.
No, a monitor.
And then they drafted Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback out of LSU. Because why not? I mean, we'll see what happens there. So their schedule. So obviously AFC East, NFC West. Bengals, Dolphins, and Falcons. So they kind of lucked out a little bit with this schedule because Dolphins and Falcons as a third place, part of a third place schedule. Not bad. Um,
As
so they
as Tua is the only quarterback to ever be the only person active in a competition and not run away with it.
Yeah, that's well. Apparently, the quarterback, the undrafted free agent, is like in the running for QB1 in Atlanta. I forget his name, but so for the Chiefs, they start off Denver on a Monday night, Colts on a Sunday night, at Miami, at the Raiders. That should be 3-1, I would think. I mean,
would
or
hope so.
2-2 at the very worst. Now after their bye week, they got an early bye week, week 5. After their bye week, their next 3 games are Chargers at home, at Seattle on a Sunday night, and at Denver. That's hefty. They play at Buffalo on Thanksgiving night. The following week, they have a Thursday night game at the Rams. Goodness gracious. And then the following week after that, they're at Cincinnati. Then they go Monday Night Football, home Patriots, home 49ers the week after that, at Chargers. They close out the season home Raiders. So from Thanksgiving on, their schedule's not a cupcake, I would say, at least at this point. Minus maybe the Raiders game there at the end, but like this, I just don't think it's going to be as easy. Here's my overall take on the West. I don't think the West is getting 3 teams in this year in the playoffs. The AFC West. The Chiefs to me have a lot of questions. The team we'll talk about next has a lot of questions. Even Denver. No disrespect to Donnie, but like I don't see 3 teams making it out of the AFC West this year. That's just my thought. Not to spoil my thoughts for next week, but any thoughts on the Chiefs?
Come on,
buddy?
Not particularly. I'm curious to see kind of how the defense looks this year. Just because they seem to also, they were at points during the kind of like, I guess 2024 run, it seemed like the defense was also having to carry a large portion of the load. And so like I'm curious to see what they're able to do on the defensive side of the ball as well, and what
well, you know who's another receiver for the Chiefs?
Spagnuolo is able to do.
You know who's another receiver for the Chiefs is your guy, Xavier Worthy from UT. Can't forget about him. Can't forget about him. Okay, let's move on to the Los Angeles Chargers, who finished 11-6 last year. Lost in the AFC wild card to who did they lose to? Who did the Chargers lose to last year? Was it the
Texans? Didn't they?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Wasn't it Houston?
Right. I believe you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. Over under 9.5 for the Chargers.
Juice on the
under.
Over. No, you're killing it. You're not. You're getting killed this week.
Yeah, my rods and cones are all screwed up.
Minus 140 on over 9.5 right now. Keep going. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah. While I'll camp while you take a break. So for the Chargers, just give me 1 second, boys and girls. I'll mention the change at offensive coordinator. Mike McDaniel in, Greg Roman out. Let's see. Yep, new defensive coordinator as well. Chris O'Leary replacing Jesse Minter, who is now the head coach with the Baltimore Ravens. Couple signings here. They re-signed Trey Lance as the backup quarterback. They also signed David Njoku from the Browns. This might be a sneaky good pickup. They re-signed Saints legend Trevor Penning, who they acquired via trade last year. They signed Tyler Biadasz, who is already injured, and I believe he might be out for a significant amount of time. He might even be out. Let me pull this up. Copy. Let me pull him up. Take a look at his status. Yep, he is. His season is over. He had a knee injury, I believe. So, uh, Biadish, Biadish, yeah. So, he was a Cowboy legend. So I'll bring it up to Brandon when he comes back. But he was with the Commanders last year, signed with the Chargers in the offseason, but unfortunately, season-ending knee injury. So, who else we got? Khalil Mack's back. Derwin James got a big extension. A couple players they lost: Najee Harris, Hassan Haskins, Keenan Allen. Who else? Mekhi Becton, who's still out there, which is kind of surprising, but nevertheless, in the draft, they got the other Miami edge rusher, so not Reuben Bain, who's with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but Hakeem Mesidor. They did get Jake Slater from Florida, who probably probably is going to start move in for Biadasz now that he's injured at center. Let me take a look at their depth chart here. Yeah, Jake Slater is second in line, next up. And then after him is Jacob Spommer. Their offensive line right now is Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt are the tackles. Obviously, they were both injured last year, so full year of healthy Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt should help the Chargers. They also have Cole Strange at one of the guards, and the other guard Trey Pickens, and then obviously the injury to Biadasz at center. I'm just looking here. Their schedule. So we talked about AFC East, NFC West. They have a second place schedule, so that means Ravens, Bills, Bucks. So, not again, not a cakewalk. I would say for the Chargers. My concern for the Chargers is, does the McDaniel experiment work? And if it doesn't, what next? Because Herbert's getting to a point where we kind of need to see something in a playoff perspective, from a playoff perspective. Obviously, they've gotten to the playoffs, but it, you know, blew the big lead to Jacksonville. Obviously, that was pre Harbaugh. Got there last year, didn't win. To me, the key for them, one of the big keys for them this year, is going to be Omarion Hampton. Uh, and does Omarion Hampton kind of take some of that pressure off of Herbert with the running game? From a receiver perspective, you have Quentin Johnson, Trey Harris, Lad McConkey. Tight end, you have Aronde Gatson, obviously Njoku, who they signed from Cleveland. Um, on paper, this offense should be pretty good. I'm just curious to see what McDaniel does with them. Obviously McDaniel's in Miami had to, maybe he'll now having being broken free of the Tua situation, maybe he'll get back to kind of dialing things up a little bit. Defensively, I mean, we talked about Khalil Mack, Denzel Perryman still there. You got Derwin James on the back end. They have Dicker the kicker, who can prove to be a weapon at times. So I I know a lot of people are high on the Chargers, but I got to see it. As our good friend Donnie says, Chargers going to Charger at some point. So let me just kind of briefly look at their schedule. Just talk about a couple stretches here. So week 1 they play home Arizona. Week 2 is home Vegas. So that should be 2-0 probably. After that, their next 3 games are at Buffalo, at Seattle, home Denver, and then the game after that is at Kansas City. So if they're not careful, that could be 2-4, uh, pretty easy. Then they have a bye week, week 7. After the bye week, they have a game in Los Angeles against the Rams. So against their crosstown rivals. Then they come home and play Houston. They're at Baltimore. So that first those so from weeks 3 to 10, that's a pretty tough stretch. Those 8 games there with a bye week thrown in. It's like 7 games. Um, then after that the schedule kind of levels up or tapers back a little bit. Home Jets, home Patriots on Sunday night, at the Bucks, at the Raiders, home 49ers on Thursday night, at Miami, and then home Kansas City at Denver. So obviously the last 2 weeks could prove important uh, for the Chargers, depending on where they're at. So that is the Los Angeles Chargers. I was kind of waiting. I was trying to hold time for Brandon to come back. Let's while we're waiting, I don't want to move on to the Broncos. Actually, you know what? Let me pull up. Got some comments here from our good friend Donnie. Donnie, the Broncos fan. Let's see. I asked him about the Broncos. He said he's feeling pretty good. Think the run game will be improved, and also Jaylen Waddle adds a vertical threat. Really put defenses into conflict. Defense should be very good again. Maybe even better than last year, which Broncos defense was really good last year. So um, that'll be something to behold if their defense even improved. The Broncos did promote Davis Webb to offensive coordinator. Pete Carmichael, now in Buffalo, as offensive coordinator. Um, we talked about the Bills last week for the AFC East. So Broncos obviously 14-3 last year, lost in the conference championship game, AFC conference championship game against the Patriots. A game which honestly, even with Stidham at quarterback, they were kind of in um, a little bit. The game, obviously, we talked about this with Buffalo last week. The game against Buffalo in the divisional round, that game could have gone either way. The Denver ends up winning that, and Bo Nix hurts his ankle in that game, and then Stidham's got to start the AFC Championship game. If Bo Nix starts against the Patriots, it's possible the Broncos are in the Super Bowl. So um, obviously Sean Payton's back. Probably know how I feel about Coach Payton. Um, I mentioned this to Donnie. I think, yeah, he said Donnie thinks the Broncos have the best defense in the division, the best O line in the division, and the best receiver core. And I said, yeah, you probably have the best coach at this point. Or I mean, obviously that's saying a lot with Andy Reid in Kansas City and Jim Harbaugh in Los Angeles. And all due respect to Clint Kubiak, who's the first-time head coach in Vegas. Um, yeah, I think. I mean, listen, I think Peyton's a good head coach. I think he's kind of maybe out to prove something this year. Uh, you know, we'll see. All right, Brandon's still away. Let me take a look. I'll I don't want to get too far ahead because I do want Brandon's thoughts on the Chargers and the Broncos. So let's do some baseball scores while we wait. Astros 9, Yankees 7, going to the bottom of the ninth. Astros clinging to first place in the AL West. Actually, no. They are now a half game behind the Rangers. I guess the Rangers must have won tonight. So the Astros trying to pull even. Brandon, I took a quick break from our AFC West preview to talk about the Astros being a half game behind the Rangers now in the AL
It
West.
might not be that way. It might not be. It may only be that way for one day because they have not.
Yes. Yeah, the Astros are currently up 9-7 on the Yankees, going into the bottom of the ninth in New York. So we'll see. And the Rangers are losing to the White Sox as we speak. So
Yeah, the Rangers scored 11 runs last night, which I assumed means they will score about 2 for the rest of the series.
They have given up 11 runs so far against the White Sox tonight. So there you go. I got through the Chargers. Brandon, did you have any thoughts on the Chargers? Big picture thoughts.
I think the question will be like, how does their defensive coordinator do?
Yeah,
in place of the
Jesse Minter.
Yeah. Jesse Minter, who took over the Ravens this year.
Yeah, I talked about my big thing is what does McDaniel's offense look like with the Chargers?
He has a better quarterback this time around.
He has a better quarterback. Better. Well, I mean, he had Achane with the Dolphins. I mean, that's a pretty good running back. Omarion Hampton, I think, has a chance to kind of break out a little bit this year.
But their center also is already dead. So
right, Cowboy legend Biadish. Excuse me. That's the problem. So they're probably going to start a rookie at center, Jake Slaughter, who they drafted out of Florida. But they've got Joe Alt back. Rashawn Slater should be back. So maybe I'm just not as high on the Chargers as other people. Chargers are going to Charger, I think, at some point, and maybe that starts with their starting center being out for the season. But
they're their own personal substation.
Yeah, and then I started talking about the Broncos a little bit. I mentioned Davis Webb getting promoted to offensive coordinator. Pete Carmichael's now in Buffalo. The over/under for the Broncos I have is 9.5. Is that the number you're seeing?
It is 9.5. Very slight juice on the over, minus 115.
So I completely forgot up until a couple weeks ago when I started looking at everything for the season. I completely forgot about the Jaylen Waddle trade for the Broncos. And I think that's going to be a big difference. I already, while you were away, I talked about Donnie's thoughts on the Broncos, and he thinks Waddle's going to give them a dimension to their offense that they just didn't have last year.
I don't disagree there.
Yeah,
assuming Bo Nix isn't like complete garbage.
Right. He thinks the running game is going to be a little better, Donnie. That is. I mean, they don't have Javonte Williams anymore because he's with the Cowboys.
That's right. Doing pretty well too.
Yeah. Who is there?
RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey.
RJ. Yeah.
Oh, and J.K. Dobbins is the other one.
That's who. J.K. Dobbins, Cody Schrader. I'm seeing on the depth chart here. And then receivers. I mean, Cortland Sutton and Jaylen Waddle. That's a pretty good 1-2 punch with Troy Franklin, the kid from Oregon that they drafted last year,
and possibly
a couple years ago.
Possibly is the former Saint legend
Taysom Hill. Yeah, that's. I haven't heard anything more. I shared my thoughts on that a couple weeks ago. If Taysom plays for anybody in 2026, it will be the Broncos, but no official word there yet. Offensive line should still be solid. We talked about the defense. I mean, this defense, it didn't get worse, in the offseason. I'll say that. Um, I, I, and then obviously I talked about. I think Sean Payton's got a little bit of something to prove still. Um, he's probably fired up. I mean, Breeze went into the Hall of Fame. He got to induct Breeze into the Hall of Fame. So I think I got a feeling the Broncos are not. I don't think last year was a fluke for the Broncos. I'll put it that way. I think they're a going concern in this division
I
moving
agree.
forward. Again, Nix is a big part of it because if he gets hurt again or if he starts regressing, that could be a problem. Let's look at their schedule. So their three extra games are Steelers, Patriots, and Panthers. They start at Kansas City, home Jacksonville, home Rams on a Sunday night, at the 49ers, at the Chargers, home Seattle on a Thursday night. That's a tough 6 weeks, man, to
Mm.
start out the season. Um, you, I mean, 3-3 is, I would say if you finish 3-3, you probably feel lucky. Lightens up a little bit after that at Arizona, home Kansas City, at Carolina before their bye week. They got a Black Friday game against Pittsburgh, at Pittsburgh. Then it's home Dolphins, at the Jets, at the Raiders. So that's kind of a little bit of a breather in the schedule, I would say. Christmas Day, they play the Buffalo Bills. It's a rematch of the divisional game from last year. They close out at the Patriots, rematch of the AFC Championship game. And then home for the Chargers, which that could end up being for the division. Who knows? Depending on what the Chargers do. I just got to be honest, man. As we kind of wrap up the AFC West, I'm torn on this division. I feel like it's a three-team race, but it's not like I'll go back to what I said a minute ago. I don't think three teams from this division are going to make the playoffs. I just think something's in the air. It's in the air. It's in the air. Uh, so
You can
I
feel
don't
it
know.
coming in the air tonight.
Yeah. Anything else on the Broncos or the AFC West in general from you, buddy, before we move on?
Nope, I'm not going to reveal my pick for who I think will win this division yet.
Well, okay. That's smart.
That's my
Uh,
prerogative.
that's your prerogative. Not that there's anything wrong with it. All right, let's move to the NFC West. We'll start with the Arizona Cardinals. Finished 3-14 last year. I have the over under at 4.5. What do you
It
have?
is currently. Ooh,
Is it 3.5?
3.5.
Is there juice
Now
on the over at least?
there's juice on the over. Minus
Okay.
136.
Okay. Again, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I kind of feel like I almost feel like here's the difference. Well, let's talk about the offseason moves first. New head coach Michael Fleur, offense coordinator Nathaniel Hackett, Donnie's favorite from Broncos years gone by. They signed Gardner Minshew, Tyler Algier. I heard a rumor today, buddy, or the other day about James Conner might be on the market. Maybe this is our chance
To get the
for our.
Connor on the well, rest in peace Snoop or rest in peace Snoop Connor, former Cowboy preseason Cowboy.
But yeah, if we get James Conner on the Cowboys, buddy, you might have a jersey opportunity there.
Oh, absolutely.
So Tyler Algier comes in, kind of a crowded running back room.
Tyler Algier, the fantasy touchdown poacher.
Yep. They also signed Kendrick.
That's like his career role.
Yeah, right. Kendrick Bourne comes in as a receiver. They also signed a couple offensive linemen. Defensively, nothing big to speak of. Blake Gillikin at punter, Saints legend. Obviously, from a departure standpoint, Kyler Murray is now in Minnesota. Zay Jones is gone. A couple other departures there. Draft wise, they drafted Jeremiah Love, who has already got an ankle sprain. They've shut him down for the rest of the preseason. He should be ready for week 1, but we'll see what happens. That's what I'm saying. A crowded running back room. Connor, Algier, and Jeremiah Love. Maybe.
Well, they already had to cut Trey Benson. That was another.
And they had to. Well, that was an
but
injury
he
too, right?
also had injury
Yeah.
issues. Well, I think
Yeah.
he had injury issues like his entire career. So that was not
Yeah.
and as we said already,
Surprise.
DeMercado is already.
He gone. Yeah. So Jeremiah Love in the draft. They drafted Chase Basantis, Texas A&M offensive lineman. They drafted Carson Beck, who, I know I said it early in the offseason. I got a feeling Carson Beck's going to start a few games for this team this year. I know they've got Brisket as the starter, but
You're making the Beck and call.
Look, like what are you like? Is Jacoby Brissett going to get you to the playoffs? Like, what are you doing? Like, why not give it a shot if you think Beck can play? Because here's the thing: best case scenario, Beck's good. Beck is serviceable.
He does.
But
He does have some. He does have some pretty good songs. 2 turntables and a microphone. Obviously.
Loser baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Cardinals.
But if Beck is serviceable and you still only win like 3 games, but you're to the point where like you don't have to get a quarterback next year, you can use that top pick as like ransom, or you can use it on a Jeremiah Smith out of Ohio State or something, something like that. Like,
well, their last draft pick of a Ohio State wide receiver worked out so well for them.
That's true.
You got to figure they want to go back to that well.
It's been a rough go for Marvin Harrison, but maybe they'll turn it around this year. All right, let's look at their schedule. NFC West plays the NFC East and the AFC West. The Cardinals, by virtue of finishing in last place, their extra 3 games, are Lions, Saints, and Jets. They start the season at the Chargers, home Seattle, at the 49ers. So I don't think Carson Beck's going to start the season because you just I don't think you throw him to the Lions like that, or to the Chargers, as it were. They go at the Giants, home Lions, at the Rams, home Broncos. They have a Week 8 game at Dallas. Cardinals always play Dallas tough, though, if I recall.
They do.
Yeah.
It's annoying. You know how you always have like teams that like no matter how good you are and how much they suck, like even outside of divisional rivalries, there's always that one team that's like, we may be awesome and they may be like 1-7, but I still don't feel good going against that team. That's the Cardinals.
Yeah. No, I get you. I
think the Saints are one of those teams too, to be honest.
For the Cowboys?
For the Cowboys, yeah. The Lions, another one.
So the Cardinals, starting in okay, let me go back through this. At Chargers, home Seattle, at San Francisco, at Giants, home Lions. Like, stop me when I get to a win. Like, at Rams, home Denver, at Dallas, at Seattle.
Well, at Dallas, there.
Home Rams, at Kansas City, home Commanders, home Philadelphia.
Home Commanders.
So you're looking at, in the first 13 games, you're looking at maybe 2 wins. Maybe.
So I think their offense may be a little more fun than people expect, and I think that may buy them a couple of like just upset victories. And I think that's why I kind of think the Dolphins, because I think the Cardinals have a few weapons, and their coach is offensively minded, whereas the Dolphins have Bupkis,
Nothing.
and
Yeah.
their coach is a defensive guy. And like, do you think who isn't their offensive coordinator like the guy from the Texans who we like?
Bobby Slowick. Yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yep.
So that is why I have taken a position on Kalshi of Dolphins to have the worst regular season record.
No, I
Paying
agree
out-
with you.
Paying out at 4-1, by the way.
I agree with you. I don't think that's a bad bet. And again, I kind of look at the Cardinals like I look at the Browns, like I look at the Raiders. Like I just don't think they're going to be an easy team to roll over. Now, again, we just went through their schedule. It's not easy. Like it's maybe one of the I think it is the toughest schedule in football.
Probably
based on preseason rankings or whatever. But yeah, I definitely feel better about the Cardinals than I do the Dolphins at this point. All right, let's move on to the San Francisco 49ers, another one of your favorite teams. 12-5 last year, lost in the divisional round.
Beat the Eagles, though.
Beat the Eagles, but they lost in the divisional round to the Seahawks. Over under for the 49ers, 10.5.
Well, by the way, it's moved.
Okay, what's the number?
It is 9.5.
Is the juice on the over or the under?
It is minus 146.
Yeah. Listen,
they have
this bad.
I think their lead wide receiver now is expected to be Deshaun Stripling. So if you want to go to the strip club,
yeah. Well, no, because Mike Evans is hurt. They signed Mike Evans, but he's hurt.
Who could have imagined that Mike Evans would be our Mike Evans, who is like 50 years old in football years, by the way.
There's just look, man. Sometimes teams just have bad vibes around them. This team's the vibes around the 49ers are like not great. They don't feel good. Like Shanahan has the car accident, which they kept a secret for like 2 weeks.
Yes.
Or like that doesn't look great.
Brandon Ayuk has gone insane.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk's like they're like not now, Brandon. We can't deal with you right now. I mean, they're load managing Christian McCaffrey at this point. Like, there's the whole substation thing. It's a mess, man. Like, but here's the thing.
Well, their owner, as we mentioned, was arrested.
Oh well, yeah. By the way, that too. Yeah, I forgot about that.
How could you forget? We had a whole segment on it.
We had a whole segment about it. I forgot about it. I mean, but the thing is like, would it shock me if the 49ers won 10 games? Not really. Just because like stuff like that just happens. I don't know, man. I don't know what to think about this team. You mentioned Stripling's probably their number one receiver at this point. They did bring Dre Greenlaw back. They acquired in a trade Osa Odighizuwa, your guy.
Odighizuwa.
Odighizuwa,
I will say though, with that pick, they did draft Jayshon Barham, who is the savior of our linebacker position.
There you go. Trent Williams got a new deal, but I think he's hurt now too. Or did I see something?
I think he's another substation victim.
My gosh, man. That's just I don't know. I don't know what to think about them. Their schedule: NFC East, AFC West, Vikings, Falcons, and Dolphins. So again, they kind of luck out with the Falcons and the Dolphins.
They got the two Tua teams.
They got the 2-2, yeah.
Current and former.
So here's their first 6. Okay, their first 7 weeks. Their bye week is week 8. They obviously have the Australia game against the Rams. Home Dolphins, home Cardinals, home Broncos, at Seattle, home Commanders Monday night, at Atlanta. That's manageable, I would say.
It does have Atlanta in there.
Denver and at Seattle back to back. That's tough. They They don't play Seattle again until week 12. After the bye week, it's home Raiders at Cowboys, Minnesota at home, but that's the Mexico City game. And then home Seattle at the Giants, home Rams at the Chargers, at Kansas City, home Philly, at Arizona to wind it down. Schedule looks manageable to me. I mean, as long as they can like field a team, like as long
as everyone's not dead, they'll be okay.
Right. I mean, like Purdy. I mean, Purdy's.
You gotta feel like at some point the wheels kind of fall off the San Francisco thing, and it feels like this has felt more like that than they have any other year. Like last year, I felt like just based on their schedule alone, I was like, they're going to be okay. Like they may not be world beaters, and eventually they got two injured, but like the two injured thing is like now starting in the preseason, and their owner is, soliciting prostitutes, and their coach is in car wreck. So like, it seems like it's falling off. It's falling apart pretty quickly. So like, I can see things going really badly, even if like they still have the coaching power to maybe overcome some of that. We should also mention that they lost their defensive coordinator, Robert Saleh.
Yeah. They brought in Raheem Morris as their defensive coordinator. They had their eyes on somebody else, but I can't remember. Oh, it was Christian. Were they trying to get Christian Parker, maybe? And then they got Raheem Morris. I remember hearing that like they were going to hire a different defensive coordinator, but then Raheem Morris became available because he got fired from Atlanta, and they brought him in. But it was Gus Bradley. That's what it was.
Really shooting high there.
Well, no, because Saleh left. They were going to bring in Bradley, but Saleh took Bradley with him or got him to Tennessee, and then that's when they went after Raheem Morris. That's what.
San Francisco did not interview Christian Parker, is what Google tells me.
Okay. All right. Anything else on the 49ers?
That's it for me.
Okay, so now we'll move to probably the two best. The two best teams in this division, and potentially the two best teams in all of football. We'll start with the Rams, who finished 12-5 last year, lost the NFC Championship game to Seattle, the eventual Super Bowl champion Seahawks. Over under for the Rams, 11.5 is the number I have.
Juice on the
over.
Mm-hmm. Minus 125.
Yeah, I mean, they did have a change at offensive coordinator. Michael LaFleur, as we mentioned, is now in Arizona. They promoted Nate Scheelhaus.
Scheelhaus. Nathan Scheelhaus.
So he is now the offensive coordinator. They gave Matthew Stafford a contract extension. They traded for Trent McDuffie. They signed Jaylen Watson, the other Kansas City corner. And, oh, by the way, they traded for Myles Garrett. And Aaron Donald should be probably coming back at some point.
Have we decided that yet?
It hasn't been decided. He tried out twice.
Working out for him.
Tried out twice or whatever.
It'd be funny if he kept trying out. It's like, sorry, Aaron, you're not good enough. We can't do it.
Yeah. They parted ways with Jared Verse. That was part of the Myles Garrett trade. Kobe Durant is now a Cowboy. Also Darian Kendrick, now a Cowboy. A couple other players they lost. Rob Havenstein, offensive lineman, retired. Tutu Atwell is now probably receiver 1 in Miami.
Whoa! How dare you speak ill of Jalen Tolbert?
Oh, I'm sorry. Cowboy legend Jalen Tolbert is wide receiver 1, of course. Obviously, we talked about their draft. Ty Simpson, quarterback. Also, Max Clare from Ohio State, the tight end. So let's look at their schedule. NFC East, AFC West. Packers, Bucks, and Bills are their 3 extra games. All right, you stop me when I get to a game that you think they're going to lose.
Well, I will say that based on the Claude output that I got, they are favored in all 17 games.
They are.
So
I believe that is factually true. Yes. So San Francisco and Australia. They come home and play the Giants on Monday night. They go to Denver on Sunday night. They go to Philadelphia. Home Buffalo on a Monday night. Home Arizona. At the Raiders. Home Chargers. At the Commanders. At the Cardinals. That's their first 10 games. Their bye week is week 11. 10-0 is not out of the question, I would say, at that point. They've got Green Bay on Thanksgiving night, or Thanksgiving Eve, excuse me. Then they go Thursday night, Kansas City at home, at San Francisco, home for the Cowboys. Now, I will remind folks,
first loss.
I will remind folks, the Cowboys once upon a time played an undefeated team on the road.
With a defensive end coming off a serious neck injury where he had to be carted off the field. Not that will. Hopefully, that's not happening this year.
And they ended up winning that game. So I'll just remind folks of that. How great would that be? Rams are what? 13 and 0, 12 and 0 before that game or whatever it is.
Oh man, so close to the 13 and 0 because that's what the Saints were.
It would be 13 and 0. It would be 13 and 0. I'm sorry.
See, it would be.
There you go. There you go, buddy. And then they play Seattle. The Rams play Seattle twice in the last 3 weeks with a visit to Tampa sandwiched in between. They're at Seattle on Christmas, at Tampa the next week, home Seattle week 18, which have we had the same 2 teams play game 272 or the last game of the year 2 years in a row? Because we might have that again this year.
I feel like it's happened before.
It has to have happened before, but
I think so. But
so the craziest thing to me about the Rams, a year ago at this time, we were talking about Matthew Stafford taking epidural shots just to like stand up. And now he had an MVP season. He's basically, this sounds like it could be his last year. My guess is if they win the Super Bowl, he probably rides off into the sunset. If they don't, then he maybe comes back for one more year. But
it would be funny if this is the year that, like, after we had all this whole nonsense about his back and the Airstream and the whatever rebirth chamber that he was in, this is the year.
Oh,
like,
right. We
haven't had any of that this year, and then he like falls apart like 2 games in or something.
Yeah. I don't think they're going 17 and 0. Let me be clear. But man, they're going to be favored in every game. I'm always a fan of the underdog. Like, what's the funniest game that they could lose? What would their fun? I guess it would be Arizona, right?
Yes. Although that's a divisional game, so I feel like that one gets a little bit of a pass. So how about
imagine this though. They start 5-0. They beat Buffalo on a Monday night at home. Arizona comes in the following week, week 6, home game, and they lose to Arizona. That would be hysterical, right? At the Raiders would be pretty funny too.
Giants game would be pretty funny. Raiders, I guess.
I mean, they could be 10-0 Thanksgiving Eve home against the Packers, and maybe the Packers beat them. Like that would be something.
I feel like the Raiders would be a good one.
Well, Yeah, I mean it was tough to find losses for them, I'll say, when I was doing, you know, because that's what the season feels like. The season feels like there's really, really good teams. So it feels like we've got a really, really good team in the Rams and a really, really bad team in the Dolphins. And then everybody else is kind of
Well, the I will say the Cardinals are pretty bad too. So
yeah, well, yeah, they're like a couple levels up above the Dolphins, I would say, maybe. But
mm.
all right, well, let's talk about the team that was the best last year. That's the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks.
Oh
Shout out
wait,
to
what
our
am I talking? I kept saying the Cowboys beat the Raiders game one of the preseason. The Cowboys beat the Seahawks. I'm an idiot.
Oh yeah, they did. You're right.
Yeah. Because I talked about Trang. I told Trang, we're better than you. We won. So now we're winning the Super Bowl.
So
Drew Lock
Seahawks
sucks.
14-3 last year. They won the Super Bowl. I've got the number at 10.5 for over under.
I just had this up actually. Where are you?
I feel like 10
Okay.
and a half seems appropriate.
10.5. There's some slight juice.
The under?
No, on the over. Minus
On the
115.
over?
It's
Okay.
minus 115, minus 105. So
Okay. Their big coaching change, Clint Kubiak, as we mentioned, now in Vegas. Brian Fleury is now the offensive coordinator. Obviously, Mike McDonald, the head coach, is a defensive fellow, so he'll be in charge of that.
is he related to Marc-Andre Fleury?
He might be. Who knows?
Do you know who Marc-Andre Fleury is?
Yeah, he was he a goalie for the NHL or yeah, okay.
Yes. I figured you could piece that together from Marc-Andre Fleury. Very
No,
French, very French Canadian name too.
Yeah, right. For the Seahawks, a couple of signings, mostly re-signings. Obviously, Jackson Smith and Jigba got a big contract extension. Rashid Shaheed, Saints legend, got some money. They signed a couple defensive
Well,
pieces.
They also lost one of their one of Trang's favorite players.
Oh, that's true. Tariq
Woolen, the Woolhead.
They also lost. We mentioned Kenneth Walker going to Kansas City. So, and then Zach Charbonnet had a ACL, right? Didn't he tear his ACL in the NFC Championship game?
And then they lost Kenneth Walker to Kansas City. So that's going to be one of the questions: is who is there?
So they signed Emmanuel Wilson, but they drafted out of Notre Dame the other Notre Dame running back, Jadarian Price, at the end of the first round. Brought in
Price is the other Notre Dame running back, correct?
Right. Yeah, that's what I said.
So both Notre Dame running backs are in the NFC West.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so let's look at their schedule. NFC East, AFC West, Bears, Panthers, Patriots as their 3 non-division games. Obviously, opening night against the Patriots at home, at Arizona, at Washington, home Chargers, home 49ers, at Denver on a Thursday night. They have 3 primetime games in a row. At Denver Thursday night, home Kansas City Sunday night, home Bears Monday night.
It's a real cowboyish schedule right there.
How polite of you to call it a. Speaking of the Cowboys coming in Monday night, week 13.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. Then they, again, as we mentioned with the Rams, they play the Rams 2 out of the last 3 weeks, sandwiched in between that a trip to Carolina, which, say what you want about the Panthers, West Coast teams going to East Coast, not always a guarantee for a win. So,
I will say one of my favorite Cowboys regular season wins was going up to Seattle in 2014. Cowboys knock off the think they were the defending champs that year, I think.
Yeah, 24. Yeah, that would because 2013 would have been the Legion of Boom. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they went up there. Tony Romo completed a miracle pass to Terrence Williams, Baylor legend.
There's a name. There's a name.
Yeah. On 3rd and 17, DeMarco Murray had a big game in that one. That was the one where I felt like that team could actually compete with anybody. So they went into Seattle, beat them on their home turf. So we'll see if we can replicate that again. Take down the defending champs in Seattle.
Yeah, there you go,
home.
buddy.
So
there you go. So wait, the Cowboys, do they play the Rams and Seahawks back to back, or pretty close proximity to each other?
It would be back to back because Week 13 Dallas.
Yeah.
At home.
Man, that's tough.
And when they win both, let's see, it's the Rams. Oh, no, because it's week. Is it week? Oh, Week 13 and Week 15. So they got a game in between.
Okay.
Now, we'll win both of those games. Obviously, we'll be Super Bowl favorites at that time.
I have to call in sick. That week. While the Saints are toiling away at 6 and, or not shit, we'll probably be 5 and something at that point, or if we're
still
lucky.
in the still in the chase.
Still in the race. We're still in the race.
Chase for the NFC South title there.
So, anything else on the NFC West or the Seahawks?
They're going down. They're going down.
Okay. All right.
NFC West can eat it, Paul.
Okay.
You know what I think about you know what I think about the NFC West?
Well, it sucks.
That? Oh man. Boy, that Cardinals loss is gonna feel pretty good when
I know. God forbid a white boy get a little. God forbid a Cowboys fan get a little emotion, Paul.
Before we sign off for the week, I did want to share my Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton story.
Story. So, are you familiar with the movie Steel Magnolias?
I don't know if I've ever watched the whole thing all the way through, but I know the movie.
You've heard of it. You've heard.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not a complete animal.
So, that movie was filmed in Natchitoches, Louisiana, which is the home of my alma mater, Northwestern State University. The movie was filmed in the late 80s, I believe it was 1988. And it was all filmed on location in Natchitoches. There's still, if you go to Natchitoches, one of the restaurants downtown has signed pictures from all of the cast. And my when I was in school at Northwestern State, the director of bands at the time, his name is Bill Brent. He was the director of bands in 1988 when the movie was being filmed. In fact, he actually got to be in the movie. He's in the wedding scene when they're dancing at the reception. You can see Bill Brent in that shot. And he, upon the news today of the passing of Dolly Parton, he shared on Facebook a story. Actually, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Give me a second. He passed along the following story. When the movie was filming in Natchitoches, Bill Brent sent Dolly Parton a letter. This is pre-email, obviously, and asked if she would consider singing the song 9 to 5 with the marching band at a home football game.
This is before. This is obviously. This was before Jaden Daniels.
Yes, of course. Least we forget. Dolly's secretary responded and said that Dolly would be honored to sing. They worked out the details, and the rest is history, and there's a video online. So there's video evidence of Dolly Parton singing with the Spirit of Northwestern Marching Band, a band that I would eventually be a part of. Obviously, in 1988, I was 4 years old, so I wasn't there for that. Um, but yeah,
Obviously,
so
obviously, Paul was not practicing hard enough.
I was not. No,
What
I
instrument
was.
did you play, Paul? I don't know if we've ever.
So in the marching band, I was a drummer. I was on the drum line.
Mm.
Uh, but I went to
Much like
school.
much like Nick Cannon.
Yes, yes, much. Um, one of my favorite memories. So that movie came out while I was in college. The movie Drumline,
Uh-huh.
and I did not see it in theaters, but I had friends on the drumline who went to see it, and they said they laughed the entire time because it's just completely like. There's one part in the movie where Nick Cannon is drumming, and he's like hooked up to a computer, so the computer can um, interpret, for lack of a better word, what he's
Was he like
drumming, and like,
is he typing off like Morse code or something?
well, he's trying to write he's trying to write music. He's trying to
Mm.
write based on what he's drumming, but like if you watch the music that's being displayed,
It doesn't.
it doesn't. It's because it's like drums are not pitched, right? Like a snare drum is not. There's no
Uh-huh.
pitch to it. But
It's
like
like
if
a
you look at
note.
the
Is it like no?
yeah,
Notes?
yeah, it's like producing like what you'd see from a piano or from a a saxophone or something like that. It's like this makes no sense.
That's like when I was in school. I don't remember if I was in high school or college, but the Wimbledon movie came out,
Yeah,
and I saw them like practicing playing tennis. Like
yeah,
I played tennis in high school, and I was watching them. And I was like, this is bad. Like they
yeah.
don't look. It doesn't look real.
Yeah, no, the movie Drumline, while it's not a terrible movie, I'll say it was. And I should also point out that movie was at a HBCU. The style of marching that is done at HBCUs is a little different from like bands like Northwestern State. Um, in fact, when I was in college, one year we played Jackson State University, which is an HBCU, and they brought their band, the Ocean of Soul. Or no, sorry, that's Texas Southern. Texas Southern's the Ocean of Soul. Jackson State is the Human Jukebox, I believe. No,
Mm,
that's
that
Southern.
sound.
That's Southern. Jackson State is like the boom
They
of the
all
South.
look. They all look alike to you. All the bands look
Hey,
alike.
oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Easy, easy.
Yeah, we called him the Terminator.
Uh, I do remember Texas Southern, the Ocean of
Sugar,
Soul.
sugar, not salt, but pepper.
Uh, the Ocean of Soul, they came to Natchitoches and performed, and this was right after the movie Ray came out, the Ray Charles movie, and they
Mm.
did an entire Ray Charles show, and they just blew us off the field. Like we went second, and we were like, yeah, we don't want to go on the field. Like this is embarrassing. Like we're out here playing like 25 or 6-4 or some Chicago tune,
Playing a Chicago song.
and they're playing and they're just like blowing us off the field. It was something. But anyway, uh, a salute to Dolly Parton. You know, just a legend. Um, so our best wishes to her family. Hope hope they're finding some peace in
Put
this
her
trying
on
time.
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
Honestly,
absolutely.
there's probably very few celebrities at this point that like everybody loves.
Right.
Dolly Parton felt like one of the
Yeah.
people that like everybody agreed on.
I mean, Trump put the flags at half staff at the White House.
Well, I saw somebody posted is like we'll never see this again. It was a DSA, Democratic Socialists of America, side by side with Donald Trump, both of
Yeah.
them praising Dolly Parton.
Yeah. I
That's how
mean,
beloved she is.
yeah, she was one of a kind, for sure. Trying to think of some other movies. So obviously, Steel Magnolias. I mentioned Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. That was a movie she was in with Burt Reynolds back in the day. What's the other? There's another one I'm thinking of. I can't. 9 to 5. 9 to 5. Yeah, we should mention. Uh, what else is? feel like there's another one I'm missing. Dolly Parton. She's in quite a few movies, apparently. Steel Magnolias, 9 to 5. She is apparently in Miss Congeniality 2.
I don't think I saw that one.
She's
Was
in.
that a straight to? Was that a straight to DVD?
Uh,
Straight to DVD?
I mean, Sandra Bullock's in it. So I don't know. She was in a movie with Sylvester Stallone called Rhinestone. This is like Stallone trying to cash in on all the Rocky fame. So he did like this. He did like this. I think it's a musical with, or like partially a musical with.
Adrian.
I have not seen it. I've heard of it, but I have not seen it. Yeah, that looks like all the best little whorehouse in Texas. That was one. She apparently Dolly Parton is in the Hannah
Shout
Montana
out,
20th
shout
anniversary
out,
special.
shout out, Jed York.
Yeah, right.
Best little trailer park.
It all comes back.
The
It all
sequel, the
circles back.
best little trailer park in Ohio.
Do you remember the Beverly Hillbillies movie in the 90s?
Yes.
So Dolly Parton was apparently in that movie. I don't
Oh
remember.
man, it's
I
been a
saw it
long time since I've seen
years
that.
ago. Saw it years ago, but doesn't surprise me Dolly Parton's in that movie, but apparently she is. Straight Talk, movie called Straight Talk in 1992 with James Woods and Dolly Parton. So, yep. Was there a Seinfeld reference to Dolly Parton once upon a time? I felt like there was. I can't remember.
See. I'm going
Yeah,
to do a quick search.
You investigate. Let me check the baseball scores while you are doing that. What we got here? White Sox 11, Rangers 7, top of the ninth.
So I think it's because there's a little bit of mix up because Kramer, when he's working, they play "My Baby Takes the Morning Train."
Yeah,
which I think
yeah.
he worked from 9 to 5, and then.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. I think that's the.
Yeah, I thought maybe there was an actual reference to Dolly Parton. Well, I mean, there's Kenny Rogers. Obviously, there's the Kenny Rogers roaster.
Oh, yes.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Islands in the stream.
That is what we are. Yeah, Astros won 9-7 over the Yankees. You tell that son of a no Yankees ever
That's
coming
what
to Houston.
the George Costanza series, as I call it now.
Yeah, it's good. So for the moment, the Rangers and Astros are both 66 and 66. That's
Cursed. Boy, that division is bum.
So after tonight, the Astros run differential is -42. The Rangers is going to be -41, I think. If this score holds up. It looks like this has gone final. White Sox 11, Rangers 7. Yep, that is the final score from Chicago.
Chicago.
Shout out to Andy. Andy is a White Sox fan. But weren't you telling me that the Rangers have the last wild card spot at this point?
I think it was like it's very close between them and Cleveland, but it's not. But they are in this terrible division. Somehow get two teams into the.
Someone at work today was on a call and they referred to my boss as like the guardian of some process. And I was like, I didn't know you were from Cleveland.
Nice.
No, nothing.
Nothing.
Womp, 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 womp. Shout out to Trang's Padres. They're holding down the last NL wild card at the moment. 2 games up on the Diamondbacks. All right. I think we've caused enough damage for tonight. Anything else Anything else you want to tell the folks before we sign off?
No, I've enjoyed that we get to keep watching soccer here.
Yeah, it's fun. Good times. I did not watch much championship, if at all. In fact, I kind of lost track of it because I did find it interesting. We were talking about the Caribou Cup. So Leeds United played. I forget who
They
they
beat
played
Nottingham Forest this week in the actual.
in the English Premier League, but then they played
Correct.
again today in the Caribou Cup.
Okay.
So and then they won again. Leeds won today
I
also.
did.
But
I did see the Leicester City lost it to Ipswich Town today, which I'm in the cup, which I'm fine with because they need to just focus on not going down again.
yeah, West. So I think I told you off air. Maybe I said it on air. I don't remember. But West Ham played Southampton, and this was two teams that I was kind of pointed um, to support because Southampton is the Saints, obviously, and West Ham.
Correct.
There's a similarity in fan bases and kind of the but West Ham defeated Southampton 4-1 today. And as we mentioned, your guys, Everton will play tomorrow against Preston. Newcastle, coming off that devastating tie against Liverpool, plays who's this?
West Bromwich Albion.
Yeah, them. West Brom.
We just call them West Brom. That's the easiest way to think about it.
And then Tottenham, the Spurs, play Charlton tomorrow. And then Chelsea and Fulham, who had a pretty entertaining game on Monday. I think the final was like 4-3. Chelsea plays Luton, and Fulham plays Wimbledon on.
I believe Luton is the Hatters, by the way.
Of the mad variety or just regular?
I think most of them are sane.
Most of them say, okay, that's good.
I think they're in a good mood. Well, maybe when they lose.
We'll see. And then AFC Wimbledon and Fulham will play also on Thursday, and then next week they'll do the third round of the Caribou Cup. So, is the Caribou Cup called something else, or is it?
I think
because that's one thing I've noticed with the European footballs. They like got different names for stuff.
The EFL Cup is the other name for it.
Okay, that's what I saw.
But there is another cup in England called the FA Cup,
which is a completely different
cup. I think the FA Cup is more prestigious, slightly.
Okay, gotcha. The Free Agent Cup?
Yes.
Yeah, here I'm looking at it right here. Man City won the FA Cup last year,
which is why they played Arsenal in the Shield, the Community Shield.
Yeah. Speaking of Man City, did you see our guy Harlan, the Viking, the Norwegian, the guy that everybody felt cut his hair?
Yeah, I know.
No more luscious.
Gotta be careful. I think Samson had a problem with after that.
Somebody else made that joke today. I was watching something and somebody else made that joke. But anyway, all right. Well, we'll be back next week to do our big season preview. We'll do records. We'll do over-unders. We'll do MVPs, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, all the good stuff.
I'll pick the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl.
You'll pick the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl. I was going to threaten you to be nice to me because if you weren't nice to me, I was going to pick the Cowboys and just
Cowboys over the Bills
and just jinx the whole thing.
Just like Liverpool, right?
Just like Liverpool, apparently. But yeah, so we'll be back next week. We'll do that. So again, the season's just around the corner. We'll have some college football to talk about. There are a couple games this weekend, week 0, if you will, college football. Nothing. I think USC plays maybe Saturday. I think that's probably the biggest team playing this week. But
do we have an Ireland game this weekend? Is that this weekend?
Ireland. Oh yeah, North Carolina and No, not TCU. Maybe it is TCU. Hang on. FBS. Yeah, North Carolina TCU, the Aer Lingus College Football Classic.
Paul, this is a family show.
I'm just telling you the name of the. I'm just repeating the name. Andy, cover earmuffs.
Earmuffs.
Yeah, so that will be Saturday at 11. So hey, I can watch Liverpool at 6:30. Watch North Carolina TCU, the Fighting Belichicks. We'll see.
And his
By the way,
the Bella chick.
By the way, TCU money line minus 305 right now. If you're interested.
Ooh, that's pretty steep.
Yep, plus 7.5 North Carolina. That's at minus 105.
That's some sweet action right there.
There's some sweet action. At minus 108, you have the over 47.5. So, if you want to play some wagers, please gamble responsibly, folks. And don't listen to us.
Don't take our
and don't take our advice. Don't take our. All right, we'll reconvene next week. We'll talk about some of that stuff. We'll see where we are baseball wise. That season winding down.
I think our seasons are already wound down.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's gonna be really pathetic when the Astros and Rangers both sneak into the playoffs, and then like we have to give an extra weekend of fandom to that. But until next week, we'll see everybody next week. Hope everybody's having a good end of August. It'll be September when we speak to you next. So we'll see everybody then. Until then, happy football, European and American.
Yeah. Happy football.
Football. Oh.